The modern publishing industry has a specific blueprint for success. Write fast, hit the established market beats, and feed the algorithm. It treats storytelling like a content mill, constantly churning out safe, predictable products. The problem is, universally accepted frameworks like the hero's journey break down when you try to apply them to narratives that are messy, morally gray, or inherently tragic. For neurodivergent writers, forcing complex ideas into these rigid, mandated structures takes a severe toll. It leads to massive creative burnout, deep shame, and eventually total paralysis. When a writer's natural voice is stifled by these rigid requirements, the creative process often stalls, leaving the most unique stories untold. Tasha L. Driver writes dark urban fantasy. She builds worlds around monsters, demons, and chaotic found families, seen right on her Hangry Girl covers. But she also has an entirely different expertise. Tasha is a certified AI ethics specialist and a system prompt engineer who actively audits large language model platforms for safety and behavioral consistency. When traditional writing advice completely failed her, she didn't quit. She threw out the old rulebooks and combined her background in artificial intelligence with her mystical hobbies. She treats her characters like complex systems. By using AI to simulate a character's responses, she can probe for inconsistencies in their logic and voice before she ever writes a scene. Let's be entirely clear about how this works. Tasha never uses artificial intelligence to generate prose or write the manuscript itself. Instead, she practices what is called context engineering. This means writing highly detailed code that locks a character's specific backstory, personality constraints, and behavioral guardrails directly into an AI system prompt. This flowchart illustrates exactly how she controls the machine using Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. Rather than letting the AI hallucinate generic answers, this structure forces the engine to pull directly from her specific character profile and world lore files to guarantee a behaviorally consistent response. In practice, she boots up a simulated, highly calibrated version of her characters, like a cynical psychic vampire, and roleplays with them. She tests dialogue options and hunts for logical inconsistencies long before drafting a single chapter. She has taken a tool built for mass production and turned it into an interactive psychological testing ground. But a rigid code-based system requires a counterbalance. The cold, analytical tech side of her process is grounded by fluid, intuitive frameworks. This animation shows how she repurposes tarot cards. She removes the fortune-telling aspect entirely. Instead, a card like the Tower is used as an archetypal framework, mapping out sudden, disruptive plot points and deep character wounds on a story timeline. She pairs this with lunar planning, mapping highly demanding tasks like drafting or low-energy tasks like resting directly to her natural biological rhythms. By flowing with these neurodivergent energy cycles instead of constantly fighting them, the creator avoids the severe burnout that kills so many projects. Once the characters are tested by the AI and the plot is mapped by the cards, the narrative still requires a structure that actually accommodates darkness and tragedy. This hexagonal diagram outlines the monster method, a 6-stage beat sheet for stories where victory comes at a terrible cost. Its nodes track phases like the sneak attack or the internal monster, where a protagonist's deepest psychological flaw mirrors the external threat. When your protagonist is destined to lose their humanity, a standard roadmap will lead you off a cliff. The monster method provides a map built specifically for navigating the shadows. The emotional core of this entire methodology relies on one simple truth: the writing process does not have to be an isolating, toxic grind. Tasha built the Dark Circle, a collaborative Discord community designed to act as a safe haven for creators who write unconventional, morally complex fiction. Inside this space, messy, imperfect drafts are encouraged. Prioritizing mental health and taking necessary breaks are treated as professional strengths rather than weaknesses. Because utilizing advanced algorithms and ancient archetypes is entirely pointless if the creator's mind is destroyed in the process. Stop apologizing for your creative quirks, and stop trying to force your unique ideas into pre-packaged, rigid molds. You can join the Dark Circle, study the monster method, or see the finalized output of this methodology by reading her Hangry Girl series. By embracing the intersection of blood magic and binary code, you have the power to rewrite the rules and finally thrive in the dark.